Today's episode is brought to you by the Barboza Method. I've run over 25 marathons, but for years, I couldn't even touch my toes. Even though I trained hard, I ignored one of the most important parts of fitness, and that's flexibility. Then I found the Barboza Method. This low-impact floor-based workout transformed my posture and mobility. Now I move better, run better, and yes, I can finally touch my toes. Try a class in Los Angeles or stream from anywhere at www.thebarbozamethod.com. In today's episode of the Wild Party Podcast, we're diving into clean beauty, sustainability, and heart-centered entrepreneurship with Jacquelyn Rodriguez, the founder of Enlightened Styles, a fully holistic salon. Jacquelyn is transforming the beauty industry with low-toxic, cruelty-free, and sustainable practices. From hair composting to a refillery system that reduces waste, we'll explore how she built a thriving eco-conscious business, the mindset shifts that helped her to avoid burnout, and how she's coaching other salon owners to do the same. If you're an entrepreneur, beauty professional, or just someone who wants healthier, planet-friendly beauty choices, you won't want to miss this. Let's get the party started. Welcome to the Wild Party Podcast, where we celebrate the visionaries behind vegan, ethical, and sustainable business. In each episode, we'll dive deep into their journeys, uncovering the why behind their mission-driven business. I'm your host, Stephanie Lahart. Tune in with me for passionate discussions about overcoming challenges, innovative marketing strategies, and the power of using business as a force for good. So whether you're an entrepreneur seeking guidance or a conscious consumer wanting to support impactful brands, join us as we explore the stories behind the businesses that are changing the world for the better. Let's get the party started. And today I want to welcome to the show Jacquelyn Rodriguez, the owner, founder, and creator of Enlightened Salons and the Clean Biz coaching business. Welcome to the show, Jacquelyn. We have so much to cover. I am really excited to talk to you today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be here. Love your podcast and just excited to chat away.
Thank you very much. I was so excited when I learned about your salon, the Enlightened Styles Salon, because it's the first time I've ever heard of a fully holistic styling salon. Not only are you into the clean business beauty side of it, but it's also cruelty-free. You offer a lot of different integrated health services, and you're a refillery. So we're going to get into all that, explain to everyone what that means, because man, there is nothing like making yourself more beautiful as you make the world more beautiful.
Yes. I believe that our beauty comes from within, but really, if it's done in a way that is just conscious, we can have beauty that is not toxic to us, but also not toxic to the planet because we only have one. So it was really important for me to bring all that together.
You're exactly right. And I love that you love the earth as much as I do. So I know you'll do a better job than me because I gave a really quick brief overview of what it is Enlightened Styles is all about. So why don't you tell our audience exactly what Enlightened Styles does and what the service is?
Of course. So we're located in Northern Virginia in a little town in Morrington. And I grew up in Virginia, and I really couldn't find, I've worked in the industries for like 26 years, couldn't find a salon that was focused on more clean. When I started the business, I wasn't really thinking so much about sustainability as much as like clean ingredients and just trying to reduce my toxic overload and my clients' toxic overload. So I set out to do just that. And 13 years ago now, I opened the doors to Enlightened Styles, and no one was talking about clean beauty. It was not a thing. I couldn't find professional products that were good, not heavy on the hair or really earthy smells. It was really hard to find something that worked in a professional setting where I can offer the same experience, the same colors and everything that you would get in a traditional salon. And that's really what I've dedicated my life to over the last 13 years is creating new spaces and safe spaces in the salon where we offer low toxic hair color. We offer all clean, low toxic, no toxic, organic, cruelty free, and sustainable products. But in my journey to all of this, I also was really working on myself. So, a lot of mindset, a lot of energy work and meditation. And if anybody has ever been to like one of those crazy salons where it's just like really hectic and a lot of all over the place, so many different clients and staff and everything all at once, I wanted to veer away from that because my energy just really couldn't handle it because of the inner work that I was doing. So I also made it my mission to create spaces where it was very one-on-one, personalized, and we focus on not just, your hair and makeup, we focus on you as a person and what's working for you, what's not, education is really big for us, but also in the wellness, like your mental, your physical, and your toxic overload, like the energy of it all as well. Um, so we focused on bringing those services in and creating more of like a holistic approach where it really covered all bases.
Yeah, and that's such a beautiful thing. I said in the beginning, it's like you're not only helping people feel more beautiful, but the earth feel more beautiful. And you're taking it even a step beyond that because you're making it more of a, let's say, a sacred space for that to happen. So, like you said in the beginning, there weren't really any just kind of one-stop shops for all of this.
Yeah.
I have been getting my hair done, since I was a little girl. My mom started at home highlighting my hair and things like that. And let me tell you, those products, like some of them would like literally burn your scalp, but you
Yeah.
would have highlights. They're like, I guess it's worth it. But now as we're moving forward as a society, we're like, wait, not only are those chemicals like really harmful, they're really bad for the world and like, really bad
Mm.
for animals, like all the animal testing and things like that. So I love that we're moving more towards a beauty industry that understands the value of vegan, cruelty-free, clean products and offering them like in a salon setting. Because I'm in Los Angeles and I honestly don't know of one salon around here that is doing anything like that. And I would jump at, the chance to be able to do something like that. So take us a little bit on your journey. When you decided you were going to open your first salon or first get into this, what did that look like for you to be able to source these products that you knew were going to be better for the mind and the body and the environment?
Uh, it looked like a hot mess. And if I'm being honest, like 13 years ago, like I said, probably 15, because it took me a while to even find something that I could switch over to. Um, I had to do tons of research and testing, and I'd order, and then I'd, try it out on myself, and then I'd try it out on my family, and then I would try it out on a few different clients, like loyal clients, and see whether it was possible or not. And there was a lot of trial and error. I got very lucky that a few years into my search, I found a brand that was absolutely amazing and they had tons of education. So it helped me bridge that gap. And then I started to switch things over to that. It was a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, as is anything with businesses
Yes.
and especially in the salon industry, I know it's very competitive.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, I know with entrepreneurs like yourself, like you're always balancing like, well, this is what I want to do because this is what my heart says, but business wise, revenue wise, should I just do this other thing? Maybe it's a shortcut or maybe it's just, the industry standard. So when you're running up against stuff like that, how are you finding like you're able to align what your business needs with your personal values?
That took me a while. I would say, well, first off, let me just preface that question with I am a heart centered entrepreneur, always have been. So, my main mission is going to always be like, what is for the greater good? And then it's like, okay, I got to figure out profit too, because I do want to stay open, right? We all have to do that. But with that focus in mind and getting really clear on what my values were, it was it was a very easy way to start to align what was important to me with how I was running things in my salon, how what products I would bring in, what services I offered. It got easier because I had such clear values. And my first value is always going to be, human relationships and the what's better for the greater good. Now, that being said, I can actually figure out how to make profit and, charge what we're worth, talk to our clients, and really bring in that education piece. And that's where it kind of set us apart from all the other salons in the competition around us, because nobody was offering that. And it took a lot of awareness, education for people to understand that at first. But I was dedicated. So it just was like a non-negotiable, I guess.
Yeah, and so I think I've read that your business is actually something that's called a green circle business.
Yeah, so we are a Green Circle salon, which Green Circle Salons is a company who handles a lot of the recycling for salons, which thank goodness I was able to find them, because they do, like, you can ship off your hair to them. They take the hair and they recycle it or upcycle it into like oil buoys, or I think they take like pets beds and they will fill pet beds and give them back to people who have like lost everything and who's gone through natural disasters. They will take the foils and recycle them and upcycle them, and clean the any type of leftover color we have. They'll take and upcycle that, take the take the chemicals out of it, and like use the clean energy. So they do a ton. And it's just such a easy thing for a business who's looking to start going into that route. They take care of all of it for you, and you just ship it over. So I am a part of Green Circle Salon, and then I've also expanded into like local sustainable farms that are near me, where I actually now I'm taking my hair to compost in local sustainable farms. And I'm really excited because the farm that I'm working with, she's an environmentalist. So she does a ton of studying. And we're doing a study right now where we're looking at like, how does hair compost into these farms and how it's actually helping enrich the soil. So we're looking at all types of different ways of making sure that we're giving back and trying to enrich the soil and reduce the waste.
That's amazing. You kind of just blew my mind. I literally never thought to myself, like, what do we do with the hair at a salon after it's cut? And I just, if you guys are watching on video and you compare it to my video from last week, my hair is much shorter. I actually just got my hair cut. They
Love
cut
it.
a lot off and it was a lot on the floor. And now, as you're saying, I never really thought, like, yeah, what's going to happen with that hair? So that's amazing that there's actually a composting system and you have
Yes.
now sourced it to work with your business because yeah, like what do we do with the hair? So just let me ask you real quick, does are you able to also like utilize like color or permed hair in the composting system, or is it
Yes.
only natural hair?
No, it actually can be any colored or permed hair. By the time that it is broken down, those chemicals I don't know all the science behind it, but working with the different companies that I have and with that sustainable farm, it is compost and broken down enough where we don't have to worry about that.
Wow, like I said, you just totally
Yeah.
blew my mind with that. I had no idea that existed, but I think you've been having probably a lot of those moments along your whole career. So when you decided to open this salon and you wanted to really focus at, let's say, a holistic, clean salon, how did you first source the products that you were going to utilize?
Yeah, that was the hardest part. And I did a lot of trial and error. I tested a lot of companies. And then again, I was able to find a company that had the values and had a system set up that I could get behind. So we are an OWAY salon, which stands for Organic Way. And that is a company from Italy. So the standards are just different there. And I was able to bring them on with the color and with the products. And it gave me the same, if not, I would say better results for our clients. So our clients knew we were doing something different that was better, but they didn't experience like this really hard shift or change in what they expected the end result to be.
Yeah, that's amazing. And are you finding now as people are discovering your salon that they're excited when they meet you because they're like, wow, I didn't know this existed.
Yes. Yeah. We have done a really like I consciously market exactly what we're doing. So I talk a lot about our values, a lot about what we're doing behind the scenes and the heart behind the company, not just that we do great hair. That is definitely a piece of it and is always a must, right? Like if you hate your hair, you hate your hair, whether it's doing good for the planet or not. But we have to do that part. So we talk a lot about what is it behind the scenes that we're doing to make it a better place so that you can come get your traditional looking style, color, and feel good that we didn't put more harm on the planet. And you're not coming in with like that really heavy chemical smell in the salon, like that just kind of takes your breath away when you walk in, and you don't feel like you put a bunch of chemicals all over your scalp or having issues that way. And then, we have the products that you're taking home, and you don't have to worry about throwing away plastic every single time you need a new shampoo bottle, or making sure that there is no sulfates and fragrances. Like we only use natural and safe fragrances in the salon as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the packaging because I know that's a huge part of your business now, having the refillery. So explain to everybody a little bit about what that means, because that's really only coming into the conversation now about the single-use plastics and things like that and what it means to have refilling options. And there's not a
Yes.
ton of them out there yet. So tell us
Yeah.
what that and how that looks in the salon.
Sure. So, I mean, the Refillery is a system where I have larger products and you bring in a bottle that you already have, or I have a bottle that you can fill, and we fill it with your favorite products and you pay per ounce. So some of our new clients come in and maybe they don't need a ton of shampoo, or they just want to try it to see if they really like it. They can buy 2 to 3 ounces. And then if they love it, they come back in and get a bigger bottle and they only pay per ounce. But the idea behind it all is one, it is reducing the waste. So we usually use glass or aluminum bottles because they are better on the earth, because plastic, unfortunately, like all the plastic that's out there, like will be there, right? It does not break down. The percentage of recycled is what, like, I think 7 or 8% of all the plastic out there gets recycled. So we use glass and aluminum to refill it, and then you're not throwing anything away. We sanitize and sterilize all of the bottles and then upcycle them.
Yeah, and that's amazing. So, me being from the marketing side, so my business is marketing, people do not realize that the cost of most of the products that they purchase, 50% or more is because of packaging. So, especially in beauty products, you'll buy a beauty product with a pretty, let's say, substantial, like, packaging, like pump look or whatever. And then you look and there's like only a half an ounce or an ounce of product, but it's a huge bottle. And you're like, well, this doesn't make sense. And of course, it's all plastic. And that's because it's the packaging itself that is so expensive. So if we could alleviate that packaging cost, how much less expensive would our favorite products be? It would be amazing to be able to just refill stuff, when that can be done. So I love that you've now offered that to your clients. Like, hey, you just buy this once, and then it's actually cheaper to use this really high level professional salon quality product.
Yep.
um love yourself, love the environment. I love that you're offering that. I wish more salons would get into that, but you knew you were onto something because You're like, I have created this system. People are responding. My business is thriving. So I'm going to turn around and I'm going to now teach people how to do this. So you have now launched, it is called the Clean Beauty Business Coach, is it?
That's my handle on Instagram, but my academy is the Holistic Salon Academy. And that is where like I saw a gap in the industry because I was like things were working. It was making a difference. Our clients were, I'm seeing more and more demand for what we're offering. So a few years ago, I decided to really get into coaching and really focus on the mindset. Again, just like with my clients, I had to almost break down the old norms and introduce this new conscious way of doing business and kind of break down those ideas of it's too expensive and there's not enough time or it's not going to work. And when I started to bring those pieces together and help other salon owners realize that you can have a very impactful business that helps on multiple levels, but also that it brings in a profit. Because at the end of the day, a business has to bring in profit. And that can be one of the scariest things when you're starting to switch over is, oh my goodness, like, do I have enough time to research all of this? Do I have enough money to invest? How much more expensive is it going to be? Are my clients actually going to be okay with this? And what am I going to do to like help bring them on the journey? And since I already had a proven system, I went ahead and started the academy. And I take a lot of that stress and overwhelm and research and systematic things that I've put into the business and I give them to my students because I really wish I would have had that to begin with. So I try to solve the time, money, and stress issue for them.
Yeah, you've really developed the system because, like you said, you did all the work. You did all the research for them. It's like,
Yes.
hey, this is how you have a truly holistic and beautiful salon that is actually revenue making and that
Yeah.
you can have a very successful business. So I love that you're offering that. Because let me tell you something. When I was doing my research on you, girl, you are so busy. I mean, you have a podcast, you do social media, you have your coaching, you have your academy, and you run a salon. I was like, damn, Jacquelyn, you are a very busy lady. But I love that you're doing all that sharing. And I have to say, I think it's really wonderful, your podcast, I did listen to it and what you're doing on social media because you're sharing so much of this. And that's the only way we're ever going to move, forward as a society is when we really share our knowledge and our skills and our powers to really help the next generation of business owners or people that are out there that are looking to make a change. And honestly, that was one of the main motivators for even doing this podcast because I wanted to be able to show people that were in the ethical, compassionate, and sustainable businesses that it is a viable business model. Because that's the first thing. Always people are like, is there a market for this? And the answer now is yes, there is. And this is how you do it. So thank you for
Yeah.
being the one to do that.
Of course. And there's a growing demand for it. As we see a lot in the news right now, I mean, we've got Food Babe talking about all the chemicals that are in food. And it really, if you look and track what happens in our society, a lot of these trends start with our food base, right?
Mhm.
Organic food, keto diets, whole food diets, all of these things have been around for a long time. And they're talking about reducing the toxins in your food. Then that's right there with wellness, right? So your food and your wellness go hand in hand. And then you look at the health and wellness industry, and there's Pilates and detoxing and saunas and all of these types of products and trends happening. Right there beside that, you're seeing the beauty industry start to kind of creep up, and you're seeing Sephora and Ulta creating these clean beauty brands and this stamp of approval that these brands are cleaner and healthier. So, with beauty comes hair. All of these things are trending upwards. So, we are creating a conscious consumer who's demanding cleaner, healthier businesses that stand up for something more than just making a dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're willing to, do the search themselves. Like they're going to
Yeah.
look for it and say, I would choose this brand over the other. And I'm sure you've heard many times people coming into your salon and saying, yeah, I chose you because of this. Like I would
For sure.
definitely, if you were in my area, I would go to you over another salon because that's so important to me. I want to go to a clean salon that's into sustainability, cruelty free, and all of that. And just having
Yeah.
that option, I'm like, whoa, great, problem solved on that level because, I still want to look cute, but I don't want it to
Of
be at the
course.
expense of the earth or an animal in no regards. So speaking on things that are just really unique to your salon, I have to bring this up because I'm so intrigued. Tell me about this hair ceremony.
Oh, yes. The hair ceremony is that is something like every service that I have brought into the salon selfishly is because I really want it, which I don't get a chance to do very often, but I do tons of research and we had a ton of clients coming in going through a lot of things over the last 5, 6 years, even more. People are dealing with a lot of heavy, heavy stuff in their lives. And when you come into a salon, you are vulnerable, you talk to your stylist. We really have a special connection with our clients. Um, so the hair ceremony is a very sacred ceremony for your hair to come in and very little talking happening, but you get a place to get your feelings out. So you even write in your journal. We may pull some cards. We may just do some energy work. But then when we're cutting your hair has a lot of energy held on to it. And you can see in a lot of different cultures over the years that hair is very sacred and is meant to be very taken care of. So throughout that haircut, we are intentionally and very consciously cutting each strand and being very connected to a bigger energy than just us. So it's just a place to really kind of let go, feel whatever emotions, work through the things that you're going through, and have a change, whether we cut just an inch off or we do a full on transformation.
Yeah, and I'm just starting to see some of these businesses pop up around LA that are doing like head massages and things like that, which
The
you
head spa.
also offer. And like you said, there's so much energy that is around, the scalp area in the hair.
Yes.
I mean, it's where our brain is. We still do not know what consciousness is, right? We don't know
Mm-hmm.
how it starts. We don't know where it comes from. And that's all up here, right? Where our
Yeah.
hair is. So of course there would be so much energy and movement around there. And I love that you've integrated all of that and really very thoughtfully put that together. Because what a beautiful way, like I said, to, bring beauty to yourself into the world and also internally as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, right? Is when we're doing energy work and we're so close to each other, right? And that energetic exchange, it can make or break that relationship. So we're very intentional about what we do. And when we have the head spa, we are helping you take care of a larger problem, exfoliating your scalp, using organic, clean ingredients, really head like doing that full head massage, but it's a conscious head massage. And then into your neck and your shoulders. But then we also add in things like infrared light therapy. We use a PEMF mat, which is a grounding mat. It's heated, it is really soothing to your muscles and helps ground your energy. And we also do things like sound bowl healing. They're in that same environment. So we're really bringing all of the senses together and helping you just calm and bring a lot of consciousness to your energy and what's happening in your body.
Yeah, it just sounds like a really beautiful all over body service. I mean, I just get
It
tingles thinking about it and thinking,
is.
could I possibly travel to Virginia sometime soon?
Well, we might have to connect, and I might have to help you find a style because there are stylists out there emerging with doing these things. And I have quite a bit of students that I can maybe see how close they are to you, or we can find you one, I'm sure. But do come to Virginia and see me because that would just be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's step back a little and talk about, starting your own business and what that entrepreneur journey was like for you. Because you are such a thoughtful and really, I can tell, spiritual person. Like, what kind of mindset really goes into being a successful business owner like yourself?
Um, well, I'll be honest, the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur, my mindset was very much on hustle. Like if I just, and I don't mean hustle in this like crazy negative way, like just working myself to death, but more so like work hard. If I just work hard and just a little bit harder and just go a little bit more, I can make it happen. I will say that that did lead to burnout and exhaustion, and I had to quickly pivot and learn how to control my energy and how to really work on my mindset. And, I read the Akashic Records. I am an energy healing practitioner. So I do a lot of work on myself energetically. I do a lot of frequencies as well. We use frequencies in the salon, and I do on my personal self. Um, but there was still a piece missing with that mindset. And I learned going through a program to become a neuro master coach. I learned that our subconscious is really driving every single thing that we do. So, breaking down and working on my energy, my frequencies, and then rewiring my mind is really what led me to the success I am now experiencing. And while being an entrepreneur is not easy, there's always things that come up that we have to handle, that we have to deal, we have to pivot. There's all sorts of things. Now in my business, I am able to feel the feelings, but then I pivot, right? It's like this immediate, okay, this is not working anymore. Let's pivot, see what can work or what's coming out of this that I can't see. And then every step and action that I take in my business and in my life, they're aligned with those values. So it's very easy for me to see when I'm out of alignment because things start to not happen the way I'm hoping. And then all I have to do is like look at closely what I've been focusing my time and energy on. And if there's something out of alignment there, you can see it much easier and then pull it back and refocus, realign. And that is really where success came for me.
Yeah, and it's really amazing how like you said earlier, that you took all of this knowledge that you gained and then decided to actually educate and help other business owners. So if somebody's interested in launching a clean beauty business like your own, how do they start working with you?
The easiest way is to meet me on Instagram. I love being on there. I answer my own messages. Let's have a discussion and conversation around it. I do like to have podcast. No, well, I have the podcast, but I do master classes quite often. So I'm usually having some sort of master class where you can hop in and learn some of the basics and, just ask about the academy.
Yeah, so is the academy like a course or is this a one-on-one mentoring?
So the academy is a group coaching year program. So throughout the year, we get not one-on-one, but small group coaching. And you get all of my systems and everything. And then a lot of hot seat coaching and a lot of time to ask your questions, start to implement things. There's a lot of mindset. I go through the entire neuro coach model in the beginning. So we really set your subconscious up to be able to have that success you want. Mm-hmm. And then you have the entire ecosystem and scripts and templates and all the things that I put together in my business. You get access to that. And we do it for a year because, it takes time. This kind of work is not an overnight, like, here's a magic pill. It is something that can be easy. It can be fun. And it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of dedication as well.
Yeah, it's like anything else. It's the commitment of it and then having the
Yes.
support behind that to make sure
Yeah.
that you're following through. And, I do find on those ones where it's just a one and done course you buy, people don't follow through. They'll buy it. They might look at the first lesson and then it never gets utilized. So the cohort method that you're using is really successful. I'm glad you're doing that. And I hope people, take advantage of it and really reach out to you. Because like I said, I think we need more of your kind of businesses out there.
Yes.
So with that said, like I've seen that you brought up Instagram and social media. So let's talk about your marketing solutions a little bit. So what have you found has been the best marketing points for you for both Enlightened Styles and then your coaching business that have really helped you to get the word out and kind of build your audience?
I think number one, relationships. So I get out there and I talk to people. Like I connect with people who are in the industry. I'm also the co-founder of the Green Beauty Community, which is a nonprofit, and really dedicated time to just uplifting the industry as a whole and creating relationships from that. That's number one. Marketing wise, the podcast, people see it, and then I utilize all of that and put it on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook and all of those platforms so that they can get the short form, but also follow along with the longer form on YouTube.
Yeah, the podcast thing is so funny. It still amazes me that, with everything that happens in the digital space, that more and more people, still rely on podcasts. They just want to hear other people speaking about something. It's basically talk radio. Like talk
It's
radio
so fun.
still rules, right? It's so funny. I know I get a lot of leads and I get a lot of feedback from this podcast and other ones that I've done that people really want to listen to other people having a conversation about a topic they're interested in.
For sure. And I think it's also that like that realism, right? It's not super structured. I like just being real and being who I am, like being transparent, because it has not been all sunshine and rainbows. It's been hard. And there's a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but I think people really relate to that. And when you're able to bring in that story and tell, like, they want to hear what worked for you, what didn't work for you, what things should I avoid, and what should I be doing like right now? And that's very powerful because it does bring a different type of community together.
Yeah, and just so we don't forget to mention it, what is the name of your podcast?
The Impactful Salon Owners Podcast. Thank you.
Absolutely. So when you guys are finished listening to this episode, jump on over to Jacquelyn's podcast and give that a listen. I did listen. It's great. She knows what she's talking about, and she's a great microphone, so she sounds amazing.
Thanks. It's been
Okay,
fun.
so let's just talk real quickly. Just, as far as the trends that you're seeing in the beauty industry or the salon industry right now, what's kind of standing out to you or what's making you most excited about what's happening maybe this year or coming down the line?
Oh yeah. Oh, there's so much innovation. I think people are really starting to see that there is not just possibility, but that there is innovation and gaps that need to be filled. So there are a ton of businesses doing amazing things. Like you've got Green Circle Salon, they connect it with Pivot Point, which any of my salon people out there will know. Pivot Point is a mannequin. We all have to use mannequins a ton. And they created this innovative mannequin where you can take just the head off, like the scalp part, and switch that out. So you're not throwing away all of that, like the face and the full form. So you're able to reduce your waste there, and they're recycling them and upcycling them. So I think the most exciting is just that people are getting out there and being innovative with clean and sustainability at the core of what they're doing.
Yeah, that is such a perfect way to say that. Like I always say, it's like every action has a consequence, and we need to be more thoughtful when we're doing stuff or we're creating stuff or we're using products, what that actually means in the long term. And we're finally having those conversations. And I love that it's happening in the salon and beauty industry as well, because I often say, that YouTube literally created like so much waste in the world when all of the beauty influencers came on and everybody was buying all these products. And even
Yeah.
now with the hauls that you see like on TikTok, it's like, no, don't just buy stuff just so you can say you bought it. Like thoughtfully purchase the product you need and then thoughtfully think about where that needs to be kind of recycled or upcycled. And you have it all integrated in your salon with the refillery and everything. So I think that is awesome. So with that said, we're kind of coming down to the end of our conversation, but I first want you to share with the audience, what is like a personal win that you have experienced in the last 90 days?
Oh, that was a good one. So many wins. I think getting the academy out there and really out in front of more salon owners and seeing that it's actually making a difference and that people, it's exciting because people are actually like, I want to create this. So the more that I see people actually reaching out and saying, hey, like, how do I get involved, or watching the podcast or anything like that, it just brings a new sense of hope. And it is a huge win for me that there's buzz around it and people are interested and starting to see that this is the way to go. Like, this is not a decision anymore. It is truly going to be the way the beauty industry goes.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Jacquelyn. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. Before we go, though, please tell everyone listening how they can find you in person and online and how they can work with you.
Yes. So in person, I'm at Enlightened Styles. We're in Warrenton, Virginia. Come see me, come message me. On Instagram is where I hang out the most, and I love answering my DMs, and that's going to be at the Clean Beauty Biz Coach on Instagram, and then the podcast. Those are the places to find me.
And give us your URL for the Enlightened Styles Salon.
It's enlightenedstyles.com.
Perfect. Exactly how it sounds.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. You have taught me so much. I now know about hair recycling, which is amazing. So thank you very much. You have been a joy to talk to you, and I can't wait to see how your business grows.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It was so fun.
Thanks for listening to the Wild Party Podcast. If you're an entrepreneur or professional who would like to be on this podcast, please visit boomtownmarketing.com and click on podcast. We believe that every business has the potential to change the world for good, and we want to support our community to help make the world more ethical, compassionate, and sustainable for all future generations to come. And if you're looking to build your business, no matter what level you're at now, request your free marketing consultation at boomtownmarketing.com and click Get Started.